All right. Now we arrive at the next to the last king. Next to the last. This king, as I mentioned, his name is Jehoiachin. But what confuses things even more so is sometimes we also see him referred to as Jeconiah, and sometimes we see him referred to as Coniah. These are all the same man, and they are all derivatives of the same name. It's all talking about the same man. I think we can best sum up Jehoiachin's reign with 3 words: brief, evil, and uneventful. Brief, evil, and uneventful. But what stands out about this king is not so much what he does or what he doesn't do, but what God continues to do for him. According to 2 Kings 24 and verse 8, Jehoiachin, also known as Jeconiah or Coniah, was 18 years old when he became king of Judah. But I know many of you here, myself included, use the King James or the New King James Version. If you turn to 2 Chronicles chapter 36 and verse 9, at what age does it say that Jehoiachin becomes king? 2 Chronicles 36 and verse 9. 8 years old. So we have parallel passages talking about the same king, talking about the same event. One passage says he was 18, one passage says he was 8. Which one's right? Let's talk about that for just a minute. The Hebrew text that was used to translate the King James and the New King James Version, indeed, in that Hebrew text, it says 8. But since the time that the King James and since the King James was translated, there have been older Hebrew manuscripts discovered. And those older manuscripts say 18. So which one was it? Was it 18 or was it 8? I think there's some things in the text that will help us better understand which is correct. In 2 Kings chapter 24 and verse 8, it says 18. But when you look at 2 Kings 24 and verse 15, it says that at this time, how long did this man reign?
3 months.
3 months. So how old was he when he came off of the throne? Same age. 2 Kings 24 and verse 15 says that when he came off of the throne, he had wives. Jeremiah 22 and verse 28 says that when he came off of the throne, he had children. How many 8-year-olds do we know that are married to multiple women and have multiple children? Yes, sir.
I also have that same question in my mind, and one of the things that stood out to me was if he was 8 years old and reigned 3 months or so, the Bible says he did that was evil in God's sight. How many 8-year-olds even have I know there may be some 8-year-olds that know how to do evil, but a lot wouldn't know how to do evil against the Lord.
Exactly. And also with that, and we'll see this also as we go along as well, some of the things that transpired after he was removed from the throne are things that fit more so with an adult than someone that is still a child. But most people believe that what happened was that through the years, as scribes were copying those ancient manuscripts by hand, a scribe was copying a manuscript and forgot the one. How many times when we sit down to copy something word for word does it come out exactly the way that the thing that we're writing comes out? A lot of times there's going to be slight differences. But we don't need to look at this and say the Bible can't be trusted, because there's so much evidence in the Scriptures that indicate to us what is accurate, what is right. This was what we would call today a typo. It was an accident in translation. And that's why many of your newer Bible translations actually have this corrected. You'll see 18 in both places. Okay, well, although Jehoiachin reigned in Jerusalem for only 3 months and 10 days, we're told that during that period of time, he did evil in the sight of the Lord just as his father had done. He followed in the footsteps of his unfaithful father. But there's something else mentioned about this man that I find quite interesting. You might not, but please just hear me out. Notice that here is another man that his mother is mentioned. His mother's name was Nehushta. From our previous studies, have we heard a name similar to that?
I thought I recognized that.
Does anybody remember where that came from? You go back to the time when the children of Israel were wandering in the wilderness. They began to grumble against God again, and God sent snakes into the camp. Many people were bit, many people died, but when they cried out to the Lord, what did God tell Moses and Aaron to do? To craft a brazen serpent, one out of bronze, put it up on a pole, and those who came to look upon it would be spared. Well, you may remember from a previous study that many, many years prior to this taking place, actually back during the reign of Hezekiah, we're told that the children of Israel had taken, what we might refer to as a national treasure. Something that was a historical artifact. They had saved this brazen serpent. They set it up and they began to worship it as a false god. And guess what they called it? Nehushtan. Which is the masculine form of the feminine Nehushtan. Now, that could just be a coincidence. But I think there's more to it than that. Because as we read about the life, the brief account that we have of this king, every time his punishment is mentioned, guess who else is mentioned as being punished along with him? His mother. And so more than likely, and what a lot of people believe, is that this name, Nehushta, was given to her because she had encouraged idol worship. Now the text doesn't tell us that. That's purely speculation. But due to the fact that she is suffering the same punishment for wickedness that her son, the king, is suffering, many people believe that it was greatly due to her influence that he had done evil in the sight of the Lord, which would have involved idol worship. Well, then we come to 2 Chronicles 36. In 2 Chronicles 36 and verse 10, we're told that it's a new year. A new year has just come about. And most people believe, and there's some good geographical evidence to back this up, there were some mountains that were located between Judah and Babylon. They were very difficult to traverse in the wintertime. And so most people believe that this siege where Jehoiakim was taken back as a captive more than likely took place in the late fall. 3 months later, after the new year, when things become passable once again, Babylon comes back. Babylon, under the personal oversight of Nebuchadnezzar, comes against Jerusalem, lays siege to the city. But something that I find very interesting, Jehoiachin is not arrested and taken back in chains. Nebuchadnezzar sends for him, summons him to come to Babylon. Well, when he arrives at Babylon, he's taken captive. He along, as we see 2 Kings 24 and verse 12, he along with his mother, his servants, his princes, and his officers. They go back to Babylon and they're placed in captivity. We're told that also in this siege, Nebuchadnezzar goes in. He carries out from there all of the treasures of the house of the Lord, the treasures of the king's house, and he cuts into pieces all of the articles of gold which Solomon, the king of Israel, had made in the temple of the Lord. And all of this happened in fulfillment of a prophecy that was made back during the reign of Solomon. Many, many generations before. If you want to write it down, it's in 1 Kings chapter 9, verses 6 through 9. And this is all in fulfillment of this prophecy. 1 Kings chapter 9, verses 6 through 9. So we'll stop right there. And Lord willing, next Wednesday night we'll pick back up, continuing to look at this second siege of the city of Jerusalem.